Okay, day 2. Gonna try and gather this stuff again. Can't rely on someone to come save me this time. Gonna try and run past this real quick. Oh, fuck. Let's see if I can get away. Nope. Ugh. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I gotta get away. I was too close. What am I gonna do? Hello everybody. It's Cartawo again. Welcome back and thanks for stopping by. Today we are going to be talking about healers. The people who actually keep people alive. Final Fantasy XIV has 3 healers as of right now, patch 5.3. This is White Mage. It is the quintessential healer and the most pure of, like, just in terms of healing. They boast regen and also highest damage output for the healer classes. Here we have Scholar. Scholar is it was the second healer that was added to the game. I mean, at the same time as White Mage. But they play fundamentally very differently. So right here we have Fairy. We have 2 different ones. Originally they served different purposes, but now it's just aesthetic differences. We have Celine and Eos. The way that Scholar tends to play, they rely heavily on mitigating damage by providing a shield, and they also rely heavily on their Fairy abilities, as well as giving buffs to party members and debuffs to enemies. Well, it's one and the same, but... And last but not least, we have Astrologian. This was added with the Heavensward update, and it's the current 3rd healer. They're the flex healer, but like their primary gimmick is that they use cards, tarot cards, that they're able to draw and divvy out to party members to give specific buffs. They have 2 stances, Diurnal and Nocturnal Sect, one that will give regeneration similar to White Mage, and one that will give shielding similar to Scholar. So I'll start off here with Astrologian. It is the healer I'm most familiar with personally. So I'll just give a small demonstration of the offensive capabilities they have. So you have your main single target spell, as well as your main DOT, damage over time spell. Some people call it DOT, and then you will also have 1 AoE skill. There is one difference coming up, I'll explain that when it comes, but other than that, those are the main skills you'll be using to fight enemies. So you have a lot of utility with Astrologian, but overall they're considered probably the weaker of the healers. All of them are viable, but they are just considered the weakest of the healers due to kind of a good at many, master of none kind of thing. But their the card system they have is incredibly valuable in giving out buffs. And right here, I'm just kind of waiting so I can use this ability, Divination, which gives a damage output boost to the entire party. And then every class has a bubble ability. This one, Astro can't move, but they're all fantastic in their own right. And that is Astrologian, kind of, basically. Second off, we have White Mage. It's the class I'm second most familiar with. It is considered probably the easiest mage, easiest healer, mostly because they are, like I said, the purest form of healing, primarily dealing with regeneration, which means you place a buff on your friends that will constantly regen HP every 2.5 seconds, which is what a server tick is, until the buff expires. White Mage also has the strongest offense, so until you hit level 72, you'll have stun and arrow for your single target attacks. Stone is your single target right here, just damage ability. Arrow is your single target damage over time ability, and Holy is going to be your area of effect ability. Everyone mostly knows White Mage is for Holy as well as regen. White Mage is also, their main gimmick is the flowers that you see on the right hand of my hotbar. They call it the Lily Gauge. And once you hit level 74, you can start feeding the Blood Lily. It allows for instant heals and damage. And lastly here, we have Scholar. So just for the sake of, I'm going to show you both the fairies again, but just for the sake that this is the order I casted them in, I'm just going to be using Eos. So I'll kind of show off how the fairies work, and just kind of how Scholar in general works. You won't be able to see it, just because usually it requires the party gauge to show up. But shielding will appear as a green portion to your, a greenish yellow portion to your health bar. The two bars on the right side of my hot bars, the bottom with the 3 diamonds, that's your ether flow. Summoners also have ether flow, and I'll get more into what theirs is about, but they both serve the same functional purpose. So with ether flow, you have access to a few extra abilities that allow you to, upon using ether flow, you'll regenerate some of your mana. On Scholar, on Summoner, it's a bit different, and I'll get there when we get there. But it allows you to, on Scholar, use a couple of instant heals, both one AoE and one single target, as well as any ability that uses ether flow will be able to build up your fairy gauge, which is the top bar. The fairy gauge is used primarily for the highest level healing and fairy abilities, so like past level 70, so you won't need to worry too much about that when you're a lower level. But their thing is primarily mitigation over healing. Of course, you're still going to want to heal, but the way Scholar works is preventing damage before it happens is better than having to heal it off after it happens, which is kind of a dangerous game, and it also kind of leads to why Scholar is the most complicated healer, I would say. But Scholar has a lot of utility. They have an ability that instead of giving a shield, it will allow you to heal an extra tick on your heal. It'll let you pretty much heal twice. So the shield, instead of shielding, will give you an instant heal as well, if necessary. And that's kind of Scholar in a handbag. Okay, so this, I'm just going to show you, this is Titan, a level 50 trial that you can do. This specific one is a level 50 trial that you can do in the post story. Titan's originally a level 34 trial. I've got a couple friends here from the FC that I'm in, thankfully willing to help. I kind of accidentally overshield one of them because they're lower level, but it just kind of shows what happens. Shielding negates literally any damage that it takes, so it'll take it in lieu of your HP. I'm using the Diurnal sect, which is the regen sect of Astrologian. I'm not worried about my friend who's the tank because they're level 80, so we're both insanely over-leveled. I'm just kind of using this as an example of just showing healing in action. So you're going to focus on, as a healer, I'd say you focus about 40% on dealing damage, 30% on healing, and then, no, make that 35, 35, and 30. 35 healing, 35 damage dealing, and then the last 30% is mitigation and mechanics. Unless you're a Scholar, then you might replace mitigation and healing. But overall, that's kind of how you're going to focus as a healer. You still want to be pumping out damage in higher content, like higher tier content, but on lower tier content, it's not a big deal, or as big a deal. You can pretty much just focus on healing if you're at like just a leveling roulette or just a standard dungeon, but once you get to the end game, it's going to become more important. Okay, last thing here, I'm just going to display rescue. It's used for trolling a lot, but its primary function is to pull people to safety. Keep that in mind, please. I don't want people to go out and get others killed because by using it wrong or intentionally wrong. Thanks everybody for stopping by and watching this video. Hopefully it gives you a bit more of a grasp on healers in general. Of course, this is a very basic intro to healers. You are going to learn a lot more from people who main healing classes, and especially from gaining experience on your own by playing the healers. This is just meant to kind of tell you what the classes are about, and also kind of give you a bit of a visual representation of what they do. So hopefully I've eased your fear about healing. I'm not gonna lie, it is going to be the most stressful job, especially because you're focused on dodging mechanics, and you're also going to be focused on making sure people who may not dodge mechanics don't die or bringing them back to life. A healer's job is stressful, but it's also really fun too. Healers are a necessary part of the game because you're not going to live if you can't heal off damage that's taken. But it really just depends on everyone's playstyle. Some people just prefer playing healers, and that's fantastic. Some people don't like playing healers at all, and that's totally okay. It's 100% up to you to decide what you want to play in this game. So that's pretty much it. Healers are a lot more complicated just because they're kind of reactionary. You're kind of pro-actionary as a scholar or a nocturnal sect astrologian, but in the end, all of it is going to be reactionary, you reacting to the damage that's taken, or getting yourself set up to react to the damage that's taken. So just kind of keep that in mind, and thank you for sticking this far in the video. If you want to check out any of my socials or my Patreon, they're going to be down in the description below. And if you want to keep seeing this content, I upload Final Fantasy XIV videos every Friday, and then I upload whatever game I'm doing a Let's Play as right now on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so just keep an eye out for that. And if you subscribe, go ahead, if you want to know when I upload through your YouTube inbox, just click the bell notification icon, and that'll let you know when I upload a new video. Thank you, take care, and have fun in Final Fantasy.